We begin with breaking news out of Iran. The Interior Ministry has declared reformist candidate Masoud Pezeshkian the winner of the presidential runoff election, beating conservative Saeed Jalili. Let's take a look at the results. Pezeshkian won with 53.7% of the vote, nearly 3 million ahead of Jalili, who got 44.3%. Iran's Interior Ministry says the turnout was 49.8%. Masoud Pezeshkian will succeed the late President Ibrahim Raisi, who was killed in a helicopter crash in May. Pezeshkian was the only reformist candidate allowed to run by Iran's Guardian Council. These were the scenes in Iran earlier where some have been celebrating. 50% of registered voters chose to stay at home in the second round of voting after a record low turnout in the first round. Pezeshkian has vowed to revive Iran's economy under stifling Western sanctions. Let's go straight to our correspondent, Rasool Sardar, who's live for us in Tehran. So Pezeshkian's supporters have already been celebrating Rasool. He won by a significant margin, nearly 3 million votes.
Indeed. So the high turnout has worked, high turnout compared to the first round, of course, have worked in his favor, and it brought him a significant victory. So after almost 2 decades, now a second reformist president is elected in Iran, and he's going to form a government soon. We do not know exactly the inauguration time, but we are expecting it to happen than usual because the current president is the acting president. So now we're talking about roughly around slightly below 50% turnout. Having said that, we should know that 50% of Iranians still didn't go to the ballot boxes. Some of them because they do not have faith in the elections that will bring any change, whether it's conservative or the reformist. And the second, many Iranians were also still boycotting that. This is a silent protest as well. So now the reformist candidate got the over 53% of the votes, while the conservative candidate got above 44%. So reformists definitely got a decisive victory here. However, it should be noted that at least 13 million people who voted for Saeed Jalili also seems to be, despite all of the odds, still loyal to the system as well. However, there are still challenges ahead of Pezeshkian. So he's being criticized of not having a team, and mostly he's expected to collect his team, his ministers, from the previous government of Hassan Rouhani.
Okay, so we talked about the numbers, of course, as you say, turnout under 50%. Talk to us now about what's going to happen in the next few hours as far as the confirmation of these results and also the reactions in Iran to this victory. We've seen celebrations from some of Pezeshkian's supporters. What are people saying about this win? What does it mean for Iran?
Well, still it's early in Iran, and people are now just getting out, going to the work. It's a working day in Iran. There has been some celebration by some small groups of the supporters of Pezeshkian. But in the later hours, in the coming hours, we're expecting more and more people to come and to celebrate this reformist victory, particularly in the major cities. So far, the numbers that have been provided are from the Ministry of Interior, but eventually the official and the final results are going to be announced by the Guardian Council. Once it's announced, that will be regarded as official, and then the inauguration period process is going to start. As I said, for the inauguration, there is not a set time as of now yet, because this is a snap election in Iran, and the things quite developed in an unexpected way. However, we are expecting the inauguration to happen sooner than the usual practices. So Masoud Pezeshkian has been promising that he's going to open up Iran to the world, renegotiate a nuclear deal with the Western countries, and to remove the sanctions to recover the economy in the country. But also he was promising social justice, equal rights, the end to the gender discrimination as well. Whether he will be able to deliver on his promises or not, of course, depends on 2 factors. Internationally, So Iran wanting, or Masoud Pezeshkian wanting to remove the sanctions doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be removed, because he will have to negotiate with the world powers. And internally, he's going to face a resistance from the political establishment here. The unelected officials and the bodies are quite significantly powerful in Iran, and without their consent, their approval, it's going to be quite tough for him also to implement the policies regarding the social justice, regarding recovering the economy, regarding putting an end to the gender discrimination, and also bringing a better functioning economy.
Rasool, thank you very much for that. We'll be, of course, keeping a close eye on all the developments out of Iran with you. Rasool Sadar in Tehran there.